Hey everyone, it's John Balt from the John Balt Real Estate Sales Team. I am so excited to be back with you to do another installment in our seller series. It has been about a week, actually probably a little bit more, and the reason for that is we've been, guess what, selling. And especially with our last listing, it brought right to the forefront of my thinking this whole topic of price. So I want to talk to you today about pricing a home for sale. Before we can get into that though, there's three things that you need to understand. Number one, every home has three prices. And this is something that I go through with every single one of my sellers. Your home has an appraised value. That's what the bank is going to lend your buyer and not a penny more. So we have to keep that in mind. The second price is actually what we call market value. And that's kind of a bit of a shifting target sometimes of actives on the market, of recent past comparables, and sometimes we can even be drawing with a very unique property from outside your specific neighborhood. Sometimes we have to go market wide, pardon me. And the last price that your home has is actually the list price. It has nothing to do with the appraised value or fair market value. It is a marketing decision, pure and simple. And that leads me to the second thing I think it's really important that you as a seller understand. There are two strategies when it comes to listing your home for sale. Both work. It just depends on what you want out of the sale. The first strategy is to qualify people with the asking price. In other words, what we're saying to people is, unless you have this much money, please don't come. Now, this might be appropriate in the example where, for instance, we have elderly sellers that just can't accommodate the constant turnover of showings, or a very unique property where, together with the seller, we make a decision that we're not looking for a massive amount of showings. What we're looking for is the right, perfect buyer for this house. And sometimes the best way to qualify that is actually by setting the price in such a way that it qualifies people before they come. The second strategy, and the one that I use 99% of the time, is to price your home in such a way that it creates opportunity. This is really, really important in a number of scenarios. One, for sellers that may have already purchased a different property. Time is not our friend in that scenario. I want for you a fast sale so that you can go to sleep in your bed at the end of the week knowing that you're sleeping in a sold home and you've bought your next home and the whole transaction is done and dusted. There is no feeling like that. And all you have to do is check out some of the testimonials and some of the video testimonials that are coming up to really get a sense for how it feels to be in that position. It is a thrill and I love it. Another reason why we might price your home to create opportunity is, for instance, when I have buyers that are moving up in the market and they need every penny possible out of their current home, and they also want to know perhaps what they can afford to move up to. So what we do then, we put the house on the market, we price it to create opportunity, and then we let the market do its work. And we're always surprised by the results. Here's what I think is really important for you as a seller to understand. When a home sells in a single offer, it sells for the lowest that you, the seller, are prepared to accept. That's just generally how this works. There's a back and forth until both buyer and seller settle at a number, and it's always the lowest number that you, the seller, are willing to take. When a home sells in multiple offers, it sells for the most that the market will bear. And that is a massive and crucial difference. That is why 9 times out of 10, even 99 times out of 100, I recommend pricing your home to create opportunity. That allows us to obviously undergird it with the marketing plan, get massive exposure, get as many showings as possible, which we all know translate directly into offers, so that we can bring you a number of offers for your consideration on the day that we decide. That's what keeps you as the seller in control, and that's how we get top dollar for your home. There's of course a lot of secret sauce to this and things that I generally discuss with you, the seller, face to face at the table when you're ready to sell. So if that's you and that time is now, make sure you don't waste any time. Call or click today, and I would love to set up an appointment with you and show you how we're different and how we do it. Thanks so much for watching, and have an awesome day.